Hello, Steeler Nation, and welcome to an episode of your Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, your channel that talks about your Pittsburgh Steelers every day, brings you so much amazing content from myself, Britsburgh Owen, and my co-host, Steelers Nation Australia, Mark Davison, the biggest Steelers fan down under. Guys, we're genuine Steelers fans who talk about our passion, talk about our Pittsburgh Steelers, and hopefully get across to you how much we love the guys in black and gold, how much we love our Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys, remember, if you have not yet subscribed to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, hit that subscribe. Join the other 1,200 subscribers who've already done it and subscribe so they don't miss out on any of the fantastic content from the Syndicate. So, guys, here's a question for you. Should the Pittsburgh Steelers trade Diontae Johnson to the Green Bay Packers? Controversial? Maybe. Possibility? Perhaps. Now, where's this come from? For the second week in a row, I've read an article today saying that the Packers could well be interested in signing Diontae Johnson as they search for a genuine wide receiver one. Now, Johnson may not be a wide receiver one in the eyes of many Steeler fans. However, in the eyes of some teams and some franchises and some analysts, he is already up there, having seen a increase in his production year on year, and having a career year last year where he got over 1,000 yards in receiving. Now, the Green Bay Packers at the moment do not have a standout wide receiver one. If you look at their wide receiver room, yes, it has. I think it's 11 wide receivers in there. But Alan Lazard is their top wide receiver after they lost Davante Adams and Marquez Valdez-Scantling in the offseason. They acquired, obviously, drafted Christian Watson, the beast from South Dakota. They have also got the likes of Randall Cobb and signed the veteran Sammy Watkins. But Aaron Rodgers has no real weapons to speak of. The Pittsburgh Steelers are blessed at wide receiver as we currently record and speak, with a large number of very talented wide receivers. If we look at the current Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver room, they have Diontae Johnson, Chase Claypool, George Pickens, Calvin Austin III, Miles Boykin, Anthony Miller, Gunnar Olszewski, Cody White, Steven Sims, Tyler Vaughns, and Tyler Snead. So 11 receivers there. Now, some may argue that getting rid of the best receiver from last year would be folly. However, stay with me, Steeler Nation. Let me put across to you a case where this could actually make sense. Now, if we look at that actual roster, that actual wide receiver depth chart, if you took Johnson off that for a minute and you had Claypool, Pickens, Austin, and you had as your top three receivers, add in there Boykin, Olszewski, and probably Miller. That is a pretty decent wide receiver room too. George Pickens is very, very highly regarded by a number of NFL analysts and by Pittsburgh Steelers coaches. And all we've heard so far coming out of OTAs and minicamp is exceptionally positive things about the rookie from Georgia, who is described as being a beast, a dog, loves to block, can be a deep threat, has the speed of Calvin Austin, the strength and height of Chase Claypool, but is a lot better at contested catches and 50-50 balls, and can jump, contort his body, come down with the ball, and accelerate away from the guy covering him. Claypool could be our next slot receiver, and a real high-quality slot receiver too. Austin is described as a real deep threat and has the speed to be that deep threat. Boykin is another possibility. Miller, another possibility. Olszewski has also been very impressively talked about in this offseason. Now, given the fact that the Steelers have only 6 draft picks in next year's draft, it could well tempt the Pittsburgh Steelers to trade Diontae Johnson now for some high draft picks from the Green Bay Packers. A lot depends, of course, what the Packers would be prepared to offer. Add to that the fact that Diontae Johnson is looking for a big payout as he goes into the final year of his rookie deal. He's looking for the same sort of money as the guys like Terry McLaurin got from Washington, but it is very doubtful the Steelers will pay Johnson anything between 20 and 23 million like McLaurin is getting. Therefore, making it a good chance that in the summer, Diontae Johnson walks away for nothing. Therefore, is it not better now to trade him and get some draft capital for Johnson? If the Packers were prepared to, say, trade away a first or a second round pick, plus or a second and, say, a fourth or fifth, or a second and some players, then that could well be worth it. So that is one possibility that could actually make this trade work if the Packers were prepared to give some high draft picks away for Diontae Johnson. It would also benefit the Steelers, given the fact they would actually get some draft capital back for a player who they would lose completely in the summer. It's about a question of sitting down and balancing up probabilities, isn't it? The likelihood of the Steelers actually paying Johnson top money is very, very unlikely. The Steelers have not been a team that will often offer wide receivers big second contracts. Antonio Brown, yes, he was offered a big second contract. Juju Smith-Schuster was given a second contract, not a particularly big one, and only a 1-year prove-it deal. He has now left the franchise. So the possibility is there, obviously, that Johnson will not be paid. What I'm arguing is that the Steelers should try and get something for this top prospect. If you look at DJ's stats over his time with the Steelers, he has shown a steady improvement, including in his drops. The amount of drops he has got has dropped right off. He was not even in the top 10 of wide receiver drops last year. In 2019, he played full 16 games, 59 receptions on 92 targets for 680 yards, averaging 11.5 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns. In 2020, his production went up again, played 15 of 16 games, but 88 receptions on 144 targets for 923 yards, 10.5 yards per catch, 7 touchdowns with a long of 47. Then last year, again, an increase in production, a massive increase in production. 16 games played, 107 receptions on 169 targets, 1,161 yards, average of 10.9, and touchdowns 8. The chances actually re-signing Johnson, I think, are very slim indeed, given the fact the wide receiver market continues to rise in terms of the amount of money spent on wide receivers. And the longer the Steelers continue to kick the can down the road, the price for Johnson will go up. Therefore, meaning they're more likely, I think, to allow him to leave for nothing next summer. Therefore, why not try and trade him to somewhere that is a wide receiver needy team like the Packers, who would definitely want a player of Johnson's caliber, who can get separation, who has the speed to get separation, and has improved on those things that he needed to improve on to give Aaron Rodgers that primary weapon they need, leaving the Steelers still with quality wide receivers like Chase Claypool, George Pickens, Calvin Austin III. Add to that, obviously, the tight end reception threat of Pat Freiermuth and also Najee Harris. There is still enough offensive weapons there for the Steelers to flourish this year without Diontae Johnson. Steeler Nation, what do you think of that trade proposal? Is it a good idea to try and get something for Johnson now before he goes for nothing in the summer? We could get a comp pick, maybe, possibly, but would it be as good as what the Chargers, what the Packers would be offering? Also, the fact that it depends as well how many players the Steelers would pick up in free agency next year to whether we'd actually end up getting a comp pick. Guys, what do you think? Drop me a comment below and let me know what you think of this trade proposal. And guys, remember, if you're still here, hit that subscribe button. Join the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Thank you so much for listening. I'll speak to you very soon here on the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Here we go, Steelers. Come on.